And after all the gyrations are over, there's a possibility that if enough aspects of self believe that they have been healed, I wouldn't stand up and throw away the crutch. But light is the most definitive way to heal. This is the way we healed when we were here before. And we didn't do what our dear friend Discalos does. He uses the Devic and the elementals to heal. Sababa uses the Devic and the elementals to heal. Maitreya, Jesus, Peter did not use those to heal. He used light. So you have this dichotomy. Should the Devics be used for healing? I think it sits right on that line, the marginal line of what's darkness and what is light. And slowly there will be such a distinct mass of beings who will heal themselves that attention will be drawn to them. And again, it will be very much tied to color and sound. Color and sound. I do not wish to take anything from anyone who heals. We need people who heal, and there's many ways to heal. The most profound on earth right now is to heal the emotional body. And all of you can contribute to that. And those that heal the physical, it's often as a result, is it not, of the emotional body? So there's no definitive guideline. I watch these evangelists, you could call them, who 1 in 40 they might heal, and one could say that's by chance. But occasionally someone's healed despite themselves. They just simply believe these gyrations. Have you never healed yourself? Yeah. Yes, of course you have. Your power soon is going to be immense with the ability to heal. It is now, I'm told. It is. I know who asked the question. Very good. Does Dolly Parton wear a bra? Does the angelic host support duality? That's the answer. Yes. Yes. Well, how could it not support, how can it support anything that has no free will? It does exactly what it's programmed for. And the duality is not something that it would be programmed to participate in, but program and respond to. Yes. Remember, your angelic hosts and the angelic kingdom are their own evolution. They have no free will. I think you must be very clear on that. They become your right hand as co-creators. Those who can see the Metatron never leaves me. And that's too bad sometimes. If the three lower astral planes have been removed, what about possessions? What about possessions? Passions? No, possessions. Negate, entities, ghosts, etc. I know that I'm not reading it properly, but that was written very quickly by a great being who I don't understand. Three lower had been removed. Three lower, this is really, well, if I can get it another way. The three lower astral levels are being removed, but it's the same thing as your coding. It takes time because you were the first to introduce it. Doesn't mean that it's implemented. It can be implemented with you and there for thousands, but for the astrals, part of the astrals were shifted on the 9th, 10th of September last year. And that was very disconcerting for those who had gotten into the habit of recycling on Earth. I'll go down and I see the cherry blossom still down there. I'll go see her and we'll do this, we'll do that. It's not fully removed. You still have about 2/3 of the astral, or lower astral levels are still there. Do they negate the lower astrals as far as ghosts and entities? It's sometimes they're bothersome. Do you know the second and third astral levels are much higher than the energy you're talking about? The ones, quoth the raven nevermore. I mean, that being is 300 years living in some little house that he wrote poetry in, wandering around because he is not prepared to release himself from the confines of purgatory. There is no hell, there never was, except in the state of the mind. If one does not believe in levels beyond this consciousness, it's a dreadful trap for them. Do these ghosts continue to exist? Well, this is really the only purgatory, is those who do not believe in an afterlife will hang around. That's grammatically not very good, but that's what they do. And they sometimes gain enough energy that they can project a cup, I guess, across the room. All of this is being raised. Yes, to answer your question, I'm being told all of this is being raised. The poltergeists will not be leaving the local castle immediately. They have to be prepared and released from their imprisonment from their view of creation. And a lot of you at night work and help with these people. I've been told here that there's quite a number of you who, unbeknownst to yourself, assist these beings who are so lost. So that will be raised. And this would be my final. Please review the new locations of the 12 chakras. I invite you to read the book. The diagram is extremely clear in Mahatma 1 and 2 about the new chakras and how they fit into over the next 35 years. Remember, this is not going to happen overnight. That was a wonderful job you did. I really didn't believe it could be brought in logically. Are the things we may do to mitigate, alleviate the power elite and shadow governments without putting ourselves in danger? My dear ones, no one who walks with light is in danger. You must drop that belief. No one who walks with light is in danger unless you allow others to hold your power. It's just simply not possible. The closest anyone ever got to any of my classes was this clicking in the ears, and that was done from probably 40 million miles away. No, it's not possible. Or is it strictly inner plane work with light that is required? You've answered your own question. Very good. Thank you. Please remind us of not having to work to release fear and doubt. Boy, that's really programmed in your good old Protestant ethics. Some of you are finding it very difficult because the body will not withstand the workload that many of you have to carry with your families, and I'm very concerned for many of you. If I had to hold a mundane job with any pressure, now being whom I am, what I am, I couldn't do it. So I have immense sympathy for some who need more sleep now, whose bodies do not function in the way they once did. I have immense sympathy, and if you have to go to work on top of that, really consult soul, higher self, the oversoul, the monad, all parts of yourself, and say, let's get this straightened away. I need a change. I want it brought in. This is what I want. This is what I wish to do. This is what I wish to become. I will not be so uncomfortable all of the time doing something I care not for. When you make a realization now, you can do it very, very quickly, and they come in profoundly. You don't hang on to it and hang on to it, but you must know that it can happen. If you do not believe you're the creator of your reality, nothing will happen, my dear ones. You can sit and thought, well, I don't know. I'd really like to ask you, Agnes, do you think I should change jobs? When you decide what it is, if you are in a cooperative, meaning with a family, compare the legitimacy of those two vibrations. If one is so apparently different than the other, I don't know what you do. And so many are. The vibration is so divergent. Often with couples, I love to see a man and a woman, or even a man and a man, I guess, if that were the case, whose vibration is compatible and in tune one with the other, because it's a very rare happening. Very, very rare. And if you can find a job where you expend less time worrying about what it is you're doing there than it becomes very, very tyrannical with the emotional body. You have confrontation all the time. I know how. You say this to yourself, for I do know how to create, and I am the creator of my reality. For I am the personality manifest, and it comes in immediately, as quickly as it can manifest in this density. He doesn't ask for very much. He doesn't need very much. Maybe he doesn't ask for enough. But those are your rules. Those are the things that you will learn to do. Some of you are learning it now, I think, in ways where your manifestations are very real. They should go out. They should be stated very firmly, and then let go. And see it happen. You know it. You can visualize it. You can see this thing. I'm going to a home now on the Cayman Islands that couldn't possibly come about. I used to live there when I had money. You don't go to the Cayman Islands without money. And I was sitting, Glenda and I had gone down there last winter, and I'm sitting thinking, oh, I don't know. Maybe this winter when I write the books, I'll figure out a way to rent somebody's place. What should I do? Would we like to have a place here? Would we like to be here? And the unfoldment took less than 12 hours. From the time of the thought, the concept, from the time the agreement of the most perfect place on that island, away from the traffic, on its own private beach, on its everything that one could manifest, happened in less than 12 hours. I had lunch with somebody whom I knew, and I had a feeling that this person would give me an inkling of what might be done. From that time, I went over not to buy. I went over, could I possibly rent your place if you reduce it, if you reduce the price? And we bought it. Less than 12 hours. So never say to yourself, these things cannot be done. I'm not, in fact, we're becoming a walking barometer of what can be done in light. And abundance is not a dirty word. God is not poor. I have to create a situation where I can maintain it. But I know there will be. It goes for all of you. I tell you this as an example, that's all. And it's not something you can write in a book as Napoleon Hill does and have it. There's positivism in that, yes, of course. But you work with a different kind of positivism because you're beginning to work with light. In fact, vast amounts of light. So, gentle hearts, what a pleasure it's been to work with you, and to have a laugh with you. Joy is one of the most abundant things you will do in your life. Joy is not hostility, it's not dutifully avoided. That joyful heart is wonderful. Because when things become very difficult, you will want the joyful heart. You remember that. Thank you, my beloved friends, and I will see you all on the inner planes. I'm going to sign some books, and I don't, there's lunches. Oh, it's lunch! Let's look at these three chakras that are what we say are man-made. That's not completely true, because you were given 2 strands of DNA, but you so concentrated on these 2 because you had no other vehicle to carry. You've done wonderfully, many with 2 strands, to even connect the soul merge and go slightly beyond. All of you have done that. All of you are going into light. If you have a little resistance, they'll get it on the tapes. You cannot do anything else. Not a threat. It's simply the way it is. I like to take you to my little lounge. Moving to now. There's miles of sandy white beach. I want you to sit up to your navel or up to your waist in aqua blue water, please. And you begin to get a sense not only that it's extremely calm and peaceful, but this is very personal. This is between you and your collective self. There is no one around. The water's about 83 degrees. It's about 85 or 90. A sense of serenity comes over you. You breathe gently as the water laps over your body. Very clear, very nourishing, and very soothing for the emotional body. But water is the emotional body for Earth. And we feel that for Gaia, we feel that for her, and we unite as we nourish one another. We open the base chakra into the earth and we unite. And we realize that the 10th ray, the microtron, let's work with the microtron because it's so powerfully infused in Earth now. And Earth is receiving it very well, humankind or not. It's a very natural process. You open up the base, and the same colored water comes through the base from the Earth. And it simply thermocycles in these 3 lower chakras. And Metatron tells you, for Metatron is anchoring with the Sandalphon this thermal cycle. And on the top you have Metatron, and view this tree, this thermal cycle, through Sandalphon, microtron, up to your navel, all the way down. You breathe it in, you breathe it out. Metatron is saying that there are shifts in consciousness, that it will be a relocation of these three lower chakras, those ones that have left man so imprisoned, particularly the lower two. And we will cleanse these in preparation. There's no need for fear, for you are extremely calm. There is great contentment and bliss coming through the earth, coming up from the ocean. And the crown is open. And there's such a profound sense of love and abundance. And you're being told that when we purify these three lower chakras sufficient to have them go into the cosmic heart, there'll be a redefining of chakras. For these three lower ones have no particular value as applied in a multidimensional matrix. Allow this cleansing to go on the thermal cycle, please. Now, with the help of the angelic host, aspects of self, invite them all now, please. Breathe it in through the top, bring the Mahatma in through the crown, and raise these three lower chakras into the thymus room, as you would an elevator. Good. In the thymus, light the candles, take in the protection you know so well. Michael, Raphael, Oriel, Gabriel, please. And for the purposes of this exercise, take in the Great One. Cameo. Allow him to feel secure with his energy, electronic to microtronic, and we breathe in that possibility in our realization that the body will accept this exchange, this bonding with the electron and the microtron. And we're particularly breathing in the microtron, and it's ironic that the feminine principle embodies the same color. Expand the cosmic heart, please, little ones. Good, very good. Very, very good. There's a great calmness. There's a great sense of peace. As the water washes the lower self, cleanses in preparation, and clears for what is to be. And we know in this calmness and this serenity, there is absolutely no need for fear. And there's a fusion now with body cells and the earth and her kingdom. There's a sense of profound oneness with what we call physical. That resonates with the elementals, with the mineral. Separate the daily, most wondrous plant kingdom. For we are bound with abundance now. In this multi-dimensional self, we realize that there are the angelic hosts, that there is and are alternate realities, and our own realities that are coming in and are there. And we breathe and we tell these bodies and these aspects as we breathe out to relax. We breathe it all in and then tell all of the kingdoms within our own thymus, within our own heart chakra, the cosmic heart. To relax. To relax. There's light on light on light. Everything feels so very real, so very secure. And we realize we're within our cosmic heart, without our lower extremities, without the emotional, without the lower will, without the lower mind, and without the extremes of fear and polarization. It's wonderful. We realize that we've already anchored the 8th chakra, the group that we worked with just recently has done this. We look very briefly to that energy as we sit along. We call on that anchoring with the group, the soul star. We realize that because we've anchored this in this thymus room, there's no need for the 8th chakra. Not a case of abandonment, because it's already anchored. We comfortably recognize that the 8th chakra is within the thymus, within the cosmic heart, within the ultimate. Breathe that in and relax it just once, please. Breathe out and allow. There's no end to the size of this cosmic heart. It can include all of creation. Ultimately it does. Just as the primary cosmic heart does. Whatever you can imagine, whichever you can create, we know we can bring into this realm. Those who like crystals, replace fire with huge crystals. I particularly like the aqua blue for this one. Put it in the fireplace. Just transformation everywhere. We've already anchored and balanced the polarities. We see that. We do not see anything but androgyny. We have no fear of that. Breathe that in. And tell the body and all in this room, cleanse and clear and become. Cleanse, clear, and become. So 1, 2, and 3 chakra, 8 chakra now. We anchor within the thymus. It does not seem difficult. We simply release the first 3 chakras, divine love, placed within the heart of heart. Feel the burden lift away, please, gentle children. The burdens of what you view as the past, as the distant past. Of all the wrongs that you perceive, that you have created, please raise them now. I see 1, 2, and 3 very, very clear. Very, very translucent. And everything up into the sun. Now for the purpose of our regeneration, and for completing ourselves so that we have complete union with all it is, we enlarge that one cell. And it becomes huge and it's white. And again we see 4 lines of 3. We see 12 strands. We're in the heart. The magnification is going on in the cosmic room. We know the astrals have shifted. The first 3 are not there. And there is a link with the 3 and the 3. We don't need to know too much about it. We just know that it's happening. Feel these 3 chakras absolutely nurtured, loved, and adored. You do not feel abandoned. The emotional body most definitely does not feel abandoned. Breathe in further and further and relax. Give it the assurance of comfort. Give it the assurance of love. Unconditional love now, please. Placate, see a mountain of light where the emotional body was. Mountain of light where fear and adversity were in the first chakra. Where the third chakra was, where you held on so desperately because this was your truth. See light. And all that now is nourished, encouraged, and adored within the sinus. You've made this connection with all these aspects now with your God force, or the Mahatma. You realize this is very, very balanced, very androgynous, so all aspects of the emotion that we have looked at are equal in their dynamic and their receptive. One is not overpowering the other. Read that in and know that to be so. One is not overpowering the other. Oh, just thank God that there can be oneness, that there can be divine equality, that no one is greater than another. That I am vital. That I am that which I've always believed, always known. I am. There's a sense prevailing thought that goes through one's mind is that incredible connection with your God source, that there is no separation. You breathe that in deeply and permeate this room and your own creation with this thought. And in the stillness of your heart, you allow this to resonate with absolute truth. There is no separation. You and your God self are one, irrevocably. And it is on an infinite scale. And it is not mandated by darkness. Watch this merge of all aspects of self coming together now. These you must invite. Open the crown more, allow all selves to come in. All alternate realities that you agreed to support come in. And know that they must unite. For these corridors of light have massive protection. As far as you can see, you see commands. Know that you are light and that you are protected. For within this divine light, nothing can interfere with your truth. Nothing. So in this enlarged circle where you have your 4 lines, your 3 DNA, you know the first 3 have anchored properly. You know the first 3 have anchored properly within this sinus room. And they're anchored very, very well. You fasten them with your own creative ability. You know they are there. And they're not threatened. you feel adored. Look at that very closely. You do not feel abandoned, nor should they. You feel love, nourished. Do not have to carry the world on their proverbial shoulders anymore. I want you now to look to what was your base, your fourth and fifth, your heart, throat. There's absolutely no correlation between numbers any longer. Do not try to identify numbers with what was. And from the single cell, I want you to attach the fourth and fifth helix, that helice, that strand to the base now, which is the fourth and the fifth helice to the fourth and fifth chakra, which was your base. See it very clearly so there's no confusion in the future. The fourth and fifth rapidly change. This has all happened within this last year. Know that this is transition in high gear. It is transformation in profound terms, and that it's all right. Tell the emotional body, as it's so well secured, it knows that this is fine. The reactive parts of yourself, the emotional confinement outside the etheric body, please express that all is well. Start to run that aqua blue color around your etheric body, please now. The whole etheric body, cleanse, and have it go into divine light, spiritual light. And there's such a difference between electronic light and spiritual light. View this as a cocoon, gentle ones, please. The outer shell is the spiritual body, and it is absolutely aqua blue in color. And you draw it from the earth, and cocoon the spiritual body or the outer body. You see the profound difference where this comes within your mental body. You see the difference. You can see the electron is not spiritual. It has a physical nature. Allow the spiritual body from the outside in, the cocooning, to resonate. This mental body now, please. Breathe it in, gentle ones, as it becomes one from the outside in. All around the body. And again, please. Into the emotional body and the etheric body, take in the aqua color and permeate these two bodies. The outer shell, the
casing from the outside in. Breathe this in, breathe that one. So the electron becomes and bonds with the electron. So you have this mutation going on. This is the most wondrous part. Know the body is being spiritualized, the bodies are being spiritualized. In the thermal cycle, please, or have enough of this material. Round, around, around, as we integrate microtron with the electron body. Round, round, becoming the embryo. Master cell. Here you only really need that 50 drop cleansing the three lower doors. It's only from the navel up that you need to really work on, please. There is no resistance, gentle one. So you call, you have all of the support and creation. Absolutely secure. You're absolutely out of harm's way. As we're looking at the areas that we have called the 6th and 7th chakra, please spend time there. Open up the crown totally, please. As we turn the cycle, make absolutely clear the 6th and the 7th chakra. 6th and the 7th chakra. And we advise these levels of consciousness, foresee they will be used differently now. There will be no fear. They will have a different application. There will be no fear. It's a gradual process. And on this planet, it will be at least 35 years to implement. But as the pioneers, we are prepared to begin the initial stages. And release all anger, all hurt, all pain. clarity with the communion of the God of gods, the God that we have waited so very long. We accept no lesser God. All the sorrow and anguish from the past we release, please. All the emotions that have held us and know that we trust. And open the crown now. We open wide the triangulation, a pyramidal grid that shines outward. An upside down pyramid, in other words. We see the powers in the corner, particularly the power generated at the apex, which is on top of our head now. And we look out, the top of this pyramid-like grid is what we've called the 12th chakra, the 12th initiation. It's not the 12th ray. It's about a foot and a half out there, isn't it? Above. It's magnificent and it's brilliant. It's very, very cleansing, and it brings a great energy into the crown. Melchizedek joins us, for this is his universe. And he truly knows this area. Breathe in the great energy of Melchizedek now, please. Bring him in. Drench self with this magnificent energy. Fill the crown and these chambers with your universal consciousness, for this is what we address. This is what we are addressing, just one. For brilliance than you're seeing yet, gentle ones, for this consciousness is very concentrated now and it cannot overwhelm you. You individually are guided as to the administration. We allow this consciousness to incorporate with our collective self now, and we allow this to connect with our correct DNA, for this is the avenue of universal consciousness. This is the avenue of universal consciousness where you of the family of Melchizedek unite. And we say unto ourselves that we will accept nothing less. We address mass consciousness and the subconsciousness of our own mind. Anything less and the wholeness of self, and the correct administration of these healing seeds to connect one with the other. The 12 strands now. Let us take good. The outside in, because this is what Akiza would like you to do. Take the 12th in first, for this is his home, his vibration. He knows all of the universe. It's his body. And firmly implant the top of that pyramidal grid, the golden surface on the top of your crown, of what was the 7th chakra seed. Have the profound resonance that knowledge universally will be yours. That it is yours. Please fasten. In reverse now, fasten the 12th to the 12th. Healthfully, look to that enlarged cell. This is asking a lot, but I ask you to breathe it in and become it. Look to the enlarged bright cell in the thymus. The bottom column on the right-hand side is the 12th. Connect that now to the crown. And identify both as 12. X, 1, 1, 3. The apex shift to the bottom of your cosmic room, of this pyramidal grid, please. And the energy is magnificent. Everything now is shifting to your own cosmic heart, which is the heart of hearts. Look to the 11th, which was your 6th, please. And firmly anchor in the pineal node in your opening of your third eye. The 11th. X1. Have no fear of past judgment on your third eye or what you have seen. Breathe in the purity, the wholeness of who you are. We have the great presence. We have the I am. One. Breathe right through from the pineal node to the opening. Breathe it. Right on through, gentle ones. Right on through. Very powerfully infuse this, please. Very good. That is very powerful for you. Good. I look to the 10th. You're ahead of me, most of you. We know what that is. So there's a collectivization. We have connected the 11th with the 11th. Let's go through that again, please. The 11th, enlarge the cell and really anchor it, please. And anchor it to the back of the brain, please. Feel, filled. Thank you. And you know the respect of you to see the thing that is good. Good. Now I want you individually, with your own creative ability, to re-establish what you have done. Number 1, 2, and 3, or in the thymus. And with that enlarged cell within the thymus, you have made your connections 1 through 12. 8 was the soul star. It's anchored in the thymus. All are active. All are active. Simply have different functions. Fourth, fifth, was the first. Sixth and seventh. That means they're anchored in profoundly. See that cell with 12 helices, 12 vortices, and attach them with that thread very, very securely, please. Resonate throughout the body now. I give you some sound and you carry it throughout the body. Remember. All strands, please. Now let there be great joy now for the presence is here. This is the first communion, or in the positive sense. The helice to your God source. With your DNA to the God source. And magnified for all of creation as you, I know who are tired a little bit, please fasten this. For in this comes your abundance, for this comes your new life, for this comes your regeneration, for this comes life as it was intended. Now tone the aqua blue, gentle ones, to permeate. Know the aqua blue is not only representative for this exercise with the feminine principle, the androgyny that was intended, but above all the microtron, and spiritualizing all of this matter so that the helices, the DNA coding, can be spiritualized also. So again, look to the egg. Forget about your connection, for you will fill of the DNA. We have lined that. Simply look to inside casing, and you in the middle with your body system. And from the outside in, look to all your bodies and bring them and spiritualize. Get to your DNA, make absolutely certain that it's coded and connected to the microtron so that we can spiritualize matter. Around just one. Very wonderful. You can see that aqua is more luminescent as you would a crystal now. Do not let go until it is absolutely clear, as you would see through an aqua crystal. Or are there any haze or shadow? Wherever there are shadows, gentlemen, see through them and move them, please. Wherever. Feel very serene. Now, for any clarity that you need, that egg that is your creation, that cocoon, and see its perfection, please. Gently. Yes. Now watch it begin to unravel this cocoon. It becomes at least 1,000 petals lotus as it unfolds. She's on a pond, very calm pond again. Water of emotion. Expand. I want you now, perfected you to step outside on this lotus. It's a brilliant light. It's so clear. It is the source light. It does bring in the 12th ray. is such a presence, such magnificent presence where the glow seems to go on throughout eternity. And the opening in the crown of your beingness now seems to connect irrevocably with the source, with your God source. And that line is now indelibly etched as your I am, indelibly etched with your presence, with who you are, with what you have so justifiably earned. We weary not of what was, and we forgive, and we forget, and we become. All transgressions are released, all anger is released. Envy, racism, everything you see that there is no cover. It's only gold and white. There are no religions. There is only I am. You note irrevocably the fineness of this line, the energy that is you. God, die are one, and you reaffirm this for the totality of who you are becoming. Breathe in your glorious God self, please, gentle one. Saturate your beingness with this divine presence that is you. Allow for fusion to the electron, the microtron, fusion of all aspects of your God self. Allow for the reunification of the totality of who you are. Accept it. Love. Please, very gradually, at your own time, connect to your body, to your public heart, and then outside. Realize that you are united with the infinite and great gratitude. Unconditional gratitude and reprimanded. Thank you very, very much. The love you, work you've done is magnificent. And it's been expressed through Brian to let you know that we do not have the language of regret. You'll know in time. But unconditional love is coming in. Shifts and changes that you've allowed are not within your finite discipline to calculate. Just accept that. Wonderful. Thank you.